How's everyone doing? So, talking about confidence, right? And I'm really interested if you're watching this. What's going on with you in terms of sexual confidence? Are you feeling that that you got it, that you're confident? Are you feeling you you need to build more confidence? I know this is like a personal thing, right? To talk about, and probably it's only going to be the people who are here who are my students already who will actually be comfortable enough to talk about if they're feeling confident sexually or not, because I think everybody feels like they want to be more sexually confident, right? We all feel that, we want to feel like we go into the experience both with our own sexual energy, so feeling confident and happy with our own sexual energy. We also want to feel like confident and happy when we're exchanging energy with another person. Now, as I'm sure that you know, and as I will say again, like our relationship with ourselves, with our own sexual energy, this is like key. This is fundamental to how are we actually going, how are we actually getting on when we relate to other people. And when we're with another person and sexual energy is getting aroused, it's a bit like being high, right? It's a bit like being on drugs, and all these different things can come up, which, if we're not actually able to kind of sit there, understand, own what's going on, and also have a conversation about it as well, it can really like you know, throw everything. It can make a big mess out of everything and just make the whole experience really scary instead of really nice and really pleasurable and really cool, because, well, we say in Taoism, we say that sexual energy is like an amplifier, that it amplifies, that it increases like whatever is already going on. So any small amounts of insecurity that we have with ourselves, um, when we actually have that experience with the sexual energy being aroused, it's going to amplify if we're lacking confidence. Now, of course, there's many people who will say, well, there's some people, they have too much sexual confidence. They're even sort of pushing themselves, sexually onto other people, giving other people, unpleasant experiences with their sexual energy. But I mean, I would say about that this is actually like a kind of like a when people are suffering with a lack of sexual energy, of sexual confidence, and just a real lack of confidence with themselves. This is very often what can actually come across, that we put across seeming like we're really confident. We're like, right, okay, I better do this. I think that, this or that is what I'm supposed to do. But in reality, we're actually doing something that may even be making someone else like, have a bad experience. So whether the lack of confidence is just coming across as shyness that you're not comfortable with, because obviously there's shyness that's okay, shyness that you're comfortable with, and then there's shyness you're not comfortable with, you know, or you feel like you're kind of going in and trying to cause, as people say, you're going in and trying to initiate it, but you're not having kind of success with it, and that's obviously like a bit of it's a bit of a difficult thing to deal with, trying to initiate, but just not really going anywhere. So whatever is going on, it's really important to actually like come into a relationship with ourselves, come into an understanding of ourselves, coming into also like an understanding of our own emotional world. And when we've grown up and we haven't been really educated around sexuality, but not just sexuality, also when we have not been educated actually around emotions and how to deal with emotions, because sex inevitably brings up a lot of emotions. We're really coming into a situation where it's easy to just end up um, just feeling worse and feeling bad about the situation. Now, personally, I think, okay, it's very easy to go and have sex with someone you don't know, or have a lot of different multiple partners, and basically feel like somehow feel like you're perhaps getting over that, through having sex with lots of different people. But I think often it actually masks and almost amplifies and makes worse that lack of confidence, because going to sleep from one person to the next quickly and without taking the time to really, really like feel and melt into those emotions and really, get comfortable and used to ourselves, is probably not going to actually evolve the relationship with the self and evolve the situation with the confidence, but may even end up making that situation worse. Now, for most people, the idea of just slow down with the feelings, slow down with whatever's going on sexually, slow it all down and really check in with your body, listen to what's going on with your body. For a lot of people, that idea can sound a bit like, daunting, I suppose might be a good word. It can sound like, well, isn't that making it worse? Isn't that making it harder? And yes, in a sense, that is. Yet this is the natural way for us to actually develop emotions around sexuality. Now, personally, I went through a bunch of years of having sexual experiences that weren't emotionally fulfilling. They weren't giving me the pleasure that I really desired and wanted, but more like that they were it was just a repeated running away from myself, I suppose, until I really, and by the way, like I tried psychology for a bunch of years, not to say it did nothing, but it really just didn't get into there where I really felt like I wanted, to go, and where I felt like I wanted to be. It wasn't really giving me the confidence that I wanted, that I needed, until I actually turned around and stopped looking outside sexually and stopped looking at other people, stopped judging my sexuality in the terms of what other people were thinking, but actually came back in and just started to say, okay, what is my relationship with myself? What is my relationship with my emotions, my relationship with my sexuality? And of course, through psychology, I'd been trying to kind of get my head around that. I've been trying to understand that, but it was only when I really learned to actually not just go into my mind and try to figure things out in the brain, which can be a very confusing and deceptive place to try to understand things, but when I actually started to go inside into my body, it was only then that I really started to actually learn to understand myself and learn to know myself, so that I could have the confidence actually to be myself, to really connect in with my authentic self, and then also to actually find the way to start being vulnerable, to start to be open, to really, really be myself. And it was only really when I went into that place of really being myself in that way that I started to actually be able to really just like be me and enjoy sex in the way that really it was just starting to feel really, really natural and starting to feel really comfortable. And even if shyness came up, because of course shyness is a natural thing, we get shy. Shy is okay, because I think it's, in a way, it can be it's about vulnerability, and it can be about bonding with another person, but being able to be confident in the fact, I'm shy, but that's cool. I'm confident about that, in terms of like, in terms of just also being able to talk about, I'm feeling this, I have this painful thing going on, because sex brings this up, sex brings this stuff up. And when we're not feeling able to actually just, be real about who we are and talk about who we are, I mean, how can we really be confident? And this is like a major thing, like I work through with my clients about. So before people even like get to working like around with the sexual energy, it's really important to actually go into the whole emotional world, right? But rather than going into the emotional world in terms of psychology, where you can spend years going round and round and round in your head, I actually use the Taoist hack to literally hack into the energy field find the emotions, unblock anything that's not flowing, and then create a deep and really, really meaningful relationship with all emotions, but especially those that we've been taught to shame, we've been taught to feel uncomfortable about, and so on. So if you're watching this, if you've come here to see this, you're feeling that you want to be able to get more confident in bed, more confident with your own sexuality, more confident to talk about things, my advice is it was only for me through actually really, really going in and finding out about those energies and really getting to know them on the visceral level that I started to have shifts. And I will say, I mean, it's really interesting to note when I do these live events, when I ask people personal questions about their sexuality and their vulnerabilities, their emotions and so on, it seems to be almost exclusively just the people who've been working with me as clients who actually stand up and just say, yeah, this is going on with me, I'm feeling this, and so on. And what it made me realize is actually how much, of a lack of confidence people have about their sexuality, how fearful and afraid people are about just talking about things. Even, for example, people joining this account joining this group, I should say, under fake accounts and kind of being shy to give likes or comments and so on, because there's so much shame around sexuality. And when we're shamed around the sexuality, we're shamed around the body. And when we're shamed around the body, how can we actually really be confident in any of the manifestations of what we're doing, what's going on with us? And so if you're in a place where you're feeling like, you had enough of this lack of confidence, you really want to just be able to go out and just say and talk about what's going on, and that's in every aspect of your life, where you want to be able to say, at work, in business, this is what I want, where you want to be able to have clear boundaries, where you want to really be confident to speak your truth and to be who you are, to be your beautiful, juicy, flowing, glowing self. What I recommend is you can drop me a heart in the comments or reach out to me via message. I have some information that I can send to you that I think will be useful for you. And I would definitely like to help you get started on your journey of growing in your confidence. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And I'm going to be doing a little secret surprise live tomorrow on Saturday, by the way, as well. I'm going to put it up shortly, what I'm going to be talking about. But I'm going to be all alone this weekend, so I thought, well, why don't I do another live? There's something I really, really want to talk about, and it's a little bit all to do with this masterclass going on Monday. The masterclass I'm doing about money and sex, right? So I hope that you've managed to sign up to that masterclass if you're not already in my membership or my group. If you're still wanting to know about the masterclass, you want to be able to join, just do drop a comment right in the chat, just asking for the masterclass, and sending lots of love, lots of juiciness, and hoping you have a great rest of your day and beginning of your weekend.